Hello, everybody. Today, Trump has hit them with the big one. So much stuff is moving forward. We got the House Judiciary that's involved, and Democrats are in full panic mode right now. 92% of Biden orders and documents are null and void due to the illegal autopen usage. We're talking about 846 total documents, executive orders, pardons, all across the board. It is gone. James Comer, who is chairman in the House, has come out and said that they have been working on this for so long. It's finally here, and Trump has announced it. Let's give it to our boy Trump. If you love it, hit that thumbs up like button, guys, because this is huge. Not only that, Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, has cut off all tax benefits for any illegal migrant in America. Get ready for this, y'all. During the last years of Biden's presidency, we gave $182 billion to migrants, illegal migrants, for the child tax credit. $182 billion. Trump and Scott Bessent said it is over. There is no room for illegals in the American financial system, financial tax system. Guys, this is massive. You're talking about saving so much money. And right now, it is just laying down the law big time. We have Biden's 162 executive orders, 745 proclamations, 382 presidential documents, all null and void, everybody. And this is the thing you have to think about. Only the federal government can get away with this much waste, fraud, and abuse of the taxpayer money, and nothing's ever happened until now. Not only that, we have Elon Musk, who has come out and dropping bombs on senators, saying that they are now leaking information that Doge has found. Elon Musk came out and said that Senator Susan Collins said that she gave the Navy $12 billion for more submarines. They got no extra submarines. They brought him in for a hearing in Congress and asked where the $12 billion go, and they said, we don't know. And that was the end of it. Guys, this is the stuff we have to stop. This is the draining of the swamp. You can't tell me that somebody out there wasn't getting some of that money. Because if you don't know where it is, then you know somebody got it that does. Not only that, Trump, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, one of the biggest news ever, they said that the nationwide murder rate has fallen to the lowest it's been in modern history, per director Kash Patel. This is cleaning up the streets. People are becoming fearful of law and order. Finally, again, the Trump administration has also, guys, this is insane, halted all decisions for asylum claims following the attack on National Guardsmen by an Afghan national. The order is in effect until we can ensure that every alien is vetted and screened to maximum degree possible. Per the USCIS Director Joe Edlow, the safety of the American people always comes first. Right there, everybody. This is what we voted for. This is 100% full scale. Trump is laying down the law. This is what we voted for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We got a big show for you today. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching. If you're not a part of the family yet, please consider joining our family so that we can serve you every day with the breaking news. And want to thank everybody that supports us in being a member, supports us in your giving. We are truly thankful for your support. It means the world to us. Y'all give it up for those that have given: Dr. K, Deborah Crumby, Elaine Demeen. Show them some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much to our moderator and our boy B1 Sly One for his love and super chat in the chat. Show B1 Sly One some love, as well as our boy Jim Barbato, Surgical Wizard. Let's go. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. This is big stuff, guys. That's all about to come out. And don't forget our sponsor chapter. It's open enrollment time right now, but the door is about to close, everybody. So call them up, get in there, make sure, because again, they have saved so much people on this channel, thousands of dollars a year in their health care. They've saved seniors on average over $1,000 a year in healthcare, and it's free. You call them up, 667-895-3015. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. And again, I'm telling you, the link is in the description. The number's going to be at the bottom of the screen. It's in a couple of days, it's about to be over. So get in there, save some money. And I'm telling you, when people message me and tell me they're getting over $1,000 in additional benefits and stipends for food and gas and whatnot, I'm just like, hey, this is what it's all about. We're all winning. So call them up, 667-895-3015. I promise you'll be blessed. Today's show is so massive, so huge. Give it up for our boy Richard with the super chat. Let's go. Show Richard some love in the chat, everybody. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we voted for. Listen to this.
News alert. Trump plans on canceling all executive orders signed by Biden's autopen. Fox News correspondent Dana Marie McNichol has more.
Good evening, Charlie. The president said today in a Truth Social post that 92% of the executive orders and documents signed by President Joe Biden during his term used an auto pen. And the president said now all of those are not effective. During President Biden's presidency, he signed 162 executive orders, in addition to hundreds of memoranda, proclamations, and notices. It remains unclear what, if any, legal impact Trump's declaration will have on existing executive orders, especially when President Trump reversed most of Biden's orders already himself. So let's take a look at the post. President Trump said, quote, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the autopen did so illegally. Joe Biden was not involved in the autopen process, and if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury.
This has taken some time.
Guys, that is insane. Not only is Trump about to cancel all of them, he's already threatening Joe Biden, saying, look, you try to say you did, we're bringing you in, and you're going to be put under oath, lying under perjury. You may go to jail. Guys, this is massive.
To make sure that we knew for a fact that Joe Biden didn't authorize this, that these individuals running the autopen was running rogue outside the direct order of President Biden at the time. And so what President Trump is doing, he did it. This wasn't knee-jerk reaction. He took time to make sure that he was accurate before he made this statement.
And Charlie, as part of the Presidential Walk of Fame, a photo of an autopen still hangs in place of President Joe Biden at the White House.
Thank you, Dana Marie.
Guys, this is massive. And now we've got more news that has come out on this because, again, think about this. They've been working on this for a long time. Right now, Biden's autopen signature breakdown is this. 88% signed by the autopen of everything that Biden ever did. Total documents, 846 out of 958. 82% signed while Biden was in D.C. This is crazy. Why in the world would Biden need the autopen to sign it if Biden was in D.C.? This is all the evidence that's coming out, everybody. This is what we voted for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because this is about to go down. Everything that you're about to see, Trump's been waiting for this for a long time, everybody. Guys, show B1 Sly One and our boy Richard some love in the chat. Let's go. And Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Thank you so much, Lay Lewis, for being a member for 13 months. Show him some love in the chat. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, this is big, big, big news today, guys. Listen to this because it gets even deeper. Every single time that we've come on here and we've shown you some of these things, they're working on this and they're working on that. Now we actually have things put into action, and I love it.
Same time, he's also going after former President Biden's executive orders and pardons signed by the autopen on Truth Social. He writes, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the autopen did so illegally. Joe Biden was not involved in the autopen process, and if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Yeah, and you look at just the sheer volume of the autopen, 88%, I believe, were autopen. You can see it here, signed by autopen. 846 out of 958 total documents. 82% signed while Biden was in D.C. And as the Oversight Committee, James Comer's Oversight Committee has looked, you know, he wasn't even present a lot of times the autopen was being used, which is why it's of course a startling frequency that it's used, but that's not really the point of it. What the point of it is like, was it actually authorized?
Yeah, the Constitution does not say anything about an autopen. It says things about the President of the United States signing things, but it doesn't say anything about a machine that is designed to make an imprint that looks like the president's signature. Doesn't say anything about that. And so it really does raise a lot of very important questions. And obviously the pardon thing, you know, we'll get into all of that, but there are actually cases where the autopen signed documents, part of the signature was, you know, as president hereby sitteth in the throne of the White House or whatever. And it turns out when you go back and you look at his calendar, he was not even in Washington, D.C., or he wasn't even in the United States when these things got signed.
Right,
and
to be clear, you know,
I want to show you this, everybody, because one of the biggest things that was signed by the autopen that forced money to be directed away from Americans towards illegals was over FEMA. I want you to see this, everybody, because this is whenever they said they had no money for the people in Maui. They had no money for the people of the Palisades. They had no money for East Palestine, Ohio. No money for the people in Western North Carolina. But dang it, they had $1 billion+ extra dollars to spend on the caravans of people that came into the United States. This stuff actually happened. This was directed, and again, all this is done by autopen, guys. This is what we're getting into. And this right here should make everybody furious if you are an American citizen that you had people in the White House orchestrating to direct money away from Americans to illegals. So for this invasion right here, this happened to our United States of America. Can't make it up. It's happened. We have all the evidence in the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is where it is getting deep, everybody. And we're showing you the facts today because this is what Trump is fighting against. Let's go, Terry Easter with the super chat. Let's go. Show Terry some love in the chat, as well as our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Sorry, guys, I got a lot of sinus infection going on right now, but I'm pushing through. This seasonal changes is kicking my butt. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the 5 gifted TrueLife News memberships. Show Lay some love, guys. If you got a free membership, she's an OG. Got so much giving today. Give it up for our boy PDX67 Richard, B1 Sly One, moderator of the channel. Guys, y'all are so awesome. And what's awesome is the news that's coming out today.
It's interesting because in the estates and wills and estate planning sort of realm of this world, there is never and also with, by the way, judicial orders, you cannot imprint via a vehicle your signature. Like, it requires your actual hand, right? And judges' orders have been ruled vacated because there was a stamp used instead of the judge's signature. But to your point about the autopen here, that the issue is not the use of that, but the issue is whether the delegation of executive authority was in fact authentic, was in fact legitimate. And we know that any president can override prior president's executive order. So this, yes, as long as I think the sort of implementation is beyond just a Truth Social post. So the issue here in the pardons is squarely whether indeed it was President Biden's intention to have those pardons executed. We know the Hunter Biden one, sure, that's in a different pot. But the issue is whether in the cases of the autopens, whether Biden's mind was even involved. I spoke earlier with Andrew Cherkasky, the constitutional law attorney, who said that Trump can indeed terminate those Biden orders, but it's something else to say about the pardons. Watch.
President Trump has absolute authority to cancel prior executive orders, whether it was done with or without a autopen. So his decision and the announcement that he made actually is, to some degree, is surprising. He could have on day one undone any executive order that was done by President Biden. The fact that it was or was not the autopen is not even an issue that prevents President Trump from pulling back those executive orders. The more interesting question, I think comes in when we start to look at the pardons that that President Biden signed with an autopen. The nature of the text alone suggests that President Biden was just engaging, or his staff was engaging in pardons that have no meaning or effect when played out in the long run.
Yeah,
guys, and I'm telling you, people are coming out and saying the quiet part out loud. Elon Musk, richest man in the world, comes out and has said that Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown was signed by an autopen. Like, none of this was, they're saying Elon Musk, who you know he's got people on the inside, he just doesn't say anything for anything, saying a Supreme Court justice was signed by an autopen, that Biden wasn't even involved. You tell me, everybody, is this not some of the biggest breaking news ever? Trump is coming after them big time to make sure to do what? Hold them accountable. Our entire country was hijacked by the Democratic Party for illegals and everything across the board. We have even Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who announced, again, guys, this was all late last night, that they have moved to cut off illegal migrants from tax benefits, cross-border money transfers, says there's no place for you in our financial system. You want to know how much money we're talking about that the illegal migrants got in tax benefits? Especially from the tax credit, child tax credit, almost $200 billion in the last years of Biden's presidency. Now, you tell me, guys, are we not fighting against the deep state big time? And all this stuff that's coming out, big breaking news, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is the stuff that is all coming out last night. But what I love is that we are staying on it, because this guy right here is cleaning up the financial systems like big time and going through everything. And they said it didn't exist. They said it wasn't happening. But guess what? We are showing you the receipts that it has. Andy, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Andy some love in the chat. Said, is Trump stopping the 600,000 Chinese student visas approved to enter the USA? Or does colleges still have preferential treatment? I think they still got the preferential treatment. Show Andy some love in the chat, as well as Jim Barbato and Milton Burns. Let's go. Show them some love in the chat, everybody. Check this out.
Act today, given all the breaking news, I'm going to go immediately to Jack and Kevin Posobiec, who join us. Jack, this shooting, the failure of vetting, the neocons pressing, 60 to 100,000 Afghans here. We're going to have Tage Gill join us in a while, and General Flynn, to talk about this. But President Trump finally doing a crackdown, and I think a lot of people are sitting there going, hey, hang on, I thought all this stuff had already been done. Scott Bessent saying we're taking away all the illegal alien tax benefits. It's like, what? I thought this was a day one exercise. So it's a good reset for President Trump, but I think it reinforces the fact that we need action, action, action. It's one thing to tweet. It's another thing to get on with it. And I think the people around him are telling him things are done, and they're not done. And now he's finding out it's not done. So President Trump is having to step in and actually enforce this himself. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, Steve, I, like so many other people, saw that tweet, Thanksgiving Eve, and it was just phenomenal. I think it represented where the vast majority of the American people are, the vast majority, certainly Gen Z, the Trump base, so many people, independents, even your non-Republican, non-traditional Republican, your low-prop voters. The question is very simple. It turns around on the dime of, are we going to be an America First movement that supports the American people, or are going to be something else? And Kevin, you had that point about the treatment of migrants versus what?
Migrants versus Americans, yeah. And it came to mind especially because of the latest encyclical or papal letter from Pope Leo. But then I thought to myself, well, that seems to be, underwritten, that he's talking about the poor migrants, and it seems to be very focused at America. But really, it's like, if you're the first American president, Mr. Chicago White Sox, why don't... That's true, Pope Leo.
Well, and you hear from the media, too. What about the treatment about the Americans? What about the treatment of the American people? We don't hear anything about that. We hear about the treatment of, a poor Afghan, and he was brought over, and he was... Look, they give them the past to come over, but to get you to fight in the war. That's what gets your loyalty. They're not fighting over there, oh, this and that. No, they want to come to America. They say, sure, I'll help you out. Then they go and join the United States military. They go and join the CIA operations, whatever it is. Unit 0, they're calling, tied back to that. I don't care. Nope. I don't care how they came in. I don't care what they did. I don't care where they came from. I care if they're going out. I care how soon they're going on a one-way ticket home.
And everybody, more breaking news is popping off. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, y'all, this is massive, okay? Check this out. Biden's messy Operation Allies welcome program failed to monitor Afghans entering the U.S., a new damning report found. So all this stuff that's coming out, guys, it's not by chance. It's all because they have been investigating time and time and time again. And now that this report is coming out, and this literally dropped just a couple days ago, this is all going back to Trump is cleaning house, draining the swamp. This is what we voted for. And this is why, again, this has essentially pushed Trump over the edge. What has happened with the Afghan national that killed that one National Guardsman, rest in peace. The other is still fighting for their life. This is insane, guys, that the White House, this is the White House website, has now put out a new page called The Media Bias. And it's Misleading Bias Exposed, where they show exactly what was the outlet, what did they say, what's the truth, what's the key points, and then what's the sources. Look at this. Now they have the Offender Hall of Shame with the top, look, literally have a leaderboard for the fake news of coming out from all these places. In first place, Washington Post, then MSNBC, then CBS News, CNN, New York Times, Politico, the Wall Street Journal, repeat offenders. Guys, this is hilarious. But this is just showing you the White House is so hell-bent on fighting the complete just fake news across the board. And this is what we're doing right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. This is massive. Sweet Kitten, let's go with the super chats that I love President Trump. Guys, Sweet Kitten's been with us, been faithful. She just reached OG status. Let's go. Show Sweet Kitten 135 some love in the chat. And Truth Warrior, some love in the chat. Members of the channel, thank y'all so much for your support. Show Truth Warrior and Sweet Kitten some love. Thank y'all so much for your kindness. Guys, we are dropping it today.
Really that simple. And I'm sure, by the way, get Mark Mitchell up here, get Rich Barris, and I've been talking to these guys throughout the weekend. You will see the polling on this. This is a 90-10 issue. Go look at that young girl, 20 years old, the flower of her life. And she goes and volunteers to stand watch at the United States Capitol, at the White House on Thanksgiving. She stood watch, and her father had that wonderful, I mean, you look at the father's post on Facebook. He said, I got one girl on her first day of college, one girl on her way to deploy to the United States, or to Washington, D.C., a proud patriot father of West by God, Virginia. And now this animal took her own weapon, we're told, and shot her point blank in the head, and she's dead. Her blood was spilled out steps away from the White House. And the media is trying to obfuscate that. They're trying to lie about that. This guy was welcomed in with open arms, and that's how he treats us? No, I'm done. I'm done, and the American people are done. They all have to go. Every last one. No more games.
100%. A couple of things. Number one, the assailant was given $2,000 a month, I think, his rent or to pay for his living accommodations. He had 5 kids, of course, because they breed like crazy. He had 5 kids and $2,000 a month plus a job at Amazon.
Kids too. The kids.
$2,000 a month for your house. What other just random American gets that? Guys, I'm telling you, this is all coming to a close. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. That you lost a young American because we let in these terrorist people, these crazies that don't want to assimilate. They don't want to align with American values. They're coming here, they're getting taxpayer benefits, and we're done.
These kids, they get every benefit in the world American citizens don't get. This is why American working class is outraged by this. And of course, Jack and Kevin, you will remember the example they use of how it was done right. And this is neocon. This is how the whole apparatus is neoliberal neocon. They use the example of Bush.
Pineapple. Oh, the pineapples. We're bringing all the pineapples over. Operation. No, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. They got to go. The families too. Yes. Okay. It's very sad. Tear up the visas. Send them back. Send them all back.
But I don't know. Yeah, but what's the administration doing this morning is send the family home. We need action, action, action. There's been enough talk. 10 months into it, when you got Treasury's just now going to come and cut off their illegal, the tax benefits. When we're talking about, hey, they may have approved the asylum. President Trump can't do everything. The people in his administration have to take his philosophy, his set of ideas, turn them into policy, but then execute on it so it's done. This is why we're having problems right now. The reason we're having problems, President Trump's agenda is not being executed. The family and the 5 kids should be gone this morning. Should be no discussion about it. Send them home. Send them back to Afghanistan. They used the example of George Bush going to the mosque and kissing ass in the days after Islam's a religion of peace. It is not a religion of peace.
No.
It's a religion of submission. And they want the Christian West to submit. We're either going to submit or we're going to fight. Okay? I think we're in the corner. People want to fight. President Trump wants to fight. People in his administration have to help him fight.
And
like
everybody,
every day.
Let me tell you this. More breaking news that the guy that killed that National Guard was part of an Afghan unit known for brutality and called the Death Squads. This is who we let into the United States of America. This is what the Biden administration did, and they said it didn't happen. I get so emotional with this because a person's life was lost. That family will never be the same. I could never imagine that father's hurt in his heart. And we did this. The United States Democratic Party did this. Listen to this.
To show you, he was part of this CIA-backed elite Afghan unit, and this right now shows some details where they operated in Afghanistan, but also the vetting process. Supposedly, they went through biometric screenings, in-person interviews, which is very interesting. And Lockenwall's connection here, he was assigned to this O3 unit, recruited and trained by the CIA to fight against the Taliban. This group, also, Rebecca, known for their brutality and called death squads. So you take that last point there that I just said, right? That they're known as these death squads, quite brutal. And that this man also went through one-on-one interviews so we understand. What's your takeaway there? Could something have been missed in that process?
Well, it's very disturbing, and this is such a tragedy. We're going to learn more, but I'm reminded that in 2011, an Afghan Air Force colonel walked into an office at North Kabul Airport and blew up 8 U.S. Air Force service members and a contractor. That was an ally. The risks here are just very, very large, and that's why I'm really glad the president is going to go and look at other cases, and we must keep an eye on this radicalization of Islam and this threat that, frankly, now is inside our borders.
There's been reporting that those who knew the suspect when he was younger say that he had mental health issues because of what he witnessed in Afghanistan. So you got to wonder, without painting all of the people who are here from Afghanistan with one brush, whether or not there are others, though, who could possibly be suffering the same type of issues.
Guys, let me tell you this. This stuff that's coming out, it's sickening. It's heartbreaking. These families, this right here, this wasn't by chance. They knew where Joe Biden was at. We know that going back to even 2019, that President Biden they found cancer and they found all kinds of stuff, and he was losing memory, and they were pushing him along, feeding him drugs to make sure that his mind, people get Adderall, they get all these hyped up nootropics to make sure that their mind is ready when they need it to, but they can only last for so long. This right here, this is all coming to an end. Jim Barbato, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. Show Jim, OG of the channel, some love, as well as Marilyn Kaplan. Thank you so much for your support. And Happy Teura Ha, Thank you so much from New Zealand. I'm pretty sure. Show them some love. Hop A in the chat. And don't forget to show Sweet Kitten, B1 Sly 1, and our boy Richard some love in the chat, everybody. So thankful for your support. What you're about to hear next, again, guys, this is us digging deeper and deeper and deeper to roll out and remove all the fraud, waste, and abuse that's been happening for so long. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, check this out.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development is rolling out a nationwide hotline for residents to directly report criminals, gang members, traffickers, and anyone here illegally and living in taxpayer-funded housing.
Boom.
We want to take good care of the most vulnerable people in our country. And that means making sure that residents in HUD-funded housing can live their lives in peace and security, free from the horrors of violent crime. Illegal aliens have no place in public housing. It's outrageous that people who should not be here come across our borders and now usurp spots in housing units that should support American people.
This comes as the president says he will permanently pause migration from all third world countries after the deadly shooting of National Guardsmen in D.C. on Wednesday. Taylor, you talk a lot about your experience near public housing in New York. You know, this hotline thing to me, my first reaction is, did this not exist before?
Yeah.
I mean, this is great, but why haven't we been able to do this before?
You know, my initial gut reaction was, if you see something, say something. Remember how successful that slogan was post 9/11? I see it everywhere. I know it. I remember it. It's catchy. And I thought, if that sort of thing could catch on post 9/11 and has been helpful in terms of, truly, when I see like a bag at the airport, like I say something now. I feel like it's my civic duty. So I do wonder if this can sort of have that hope of a similar catchphrase where people feel like it is their civic duty to, I love reporting the gang members and the violence, because that's where a lot of the, at least in my former neighborhood, the sad thing was all the shootings happened within the housing complex. So even though I lived across the street, I actually felt safe because the cops kept saying, unfortunately, the shooting is within there because all the gang activity happens within there. They're not crossing the street. So if this could be sort of a civic duty to report crime, I like it.
So, but okay, but then, it brings up the issue of enforcement. So you call, I mean, hotlines, you call hotlines, they're gonna have a problem. You know, you never get through. If you get through, nobody ever does anything. And then if there's the enforcement issues already with places like this, is HUD gonna be able to do anything on that front?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. And I also feel, to take the pessimistic view on this, in certain communities, there is this notion of snitches get stitches. So I look at this and I'm like, that's great. But how many neighbors are going to be calling? It's real, guys. The first thing I thought when I saw this was like, how many people are actually going to call and snitch on their neighbors? It is very difficult. There's a lot of police outreach that is done in communities like that because people don't want to speak up. So I worry about the ability. Then you have the actual hotline. Yes, how do they answer and how do they process it? Because also, people love to complain about their neighbors. So if Sally's been loud, because if Jackie can hear the tree sucking up the sap, I'm sure she's hearing Sally next door. And so how do you vet if things are actually a problem or if it's just people complaining about their neighbors? So that's not to say, boo-hoo, we should.
Let me tell you this, everybody. If stuff isn't dropping by the minute right now, I am blown out of my mind. What I'm about to show you, this is so big. I'm just like, are you even kidding me? Okay. So there's a lot of Medicare, Medicaid, waste, abuse. It's all out there. Okay. So it's just been confirmed. And we're about to show you this in a moment. The Minnesota Somalians haven't stolen millions from the American taxpayers through fraud. They've stolen billions since 2019, everybody. This is insane. Debbie K, let's go with the super chat. I love it. Said, I called chapter yesterday and I will be saving $1,560 a year. I said, Joel said, call, thank you. Oh my goodness, guys. Look, I'm telling you, this is why you're seeing it in a super chat. This is why we partnered with this company, Chapter, because of that right there. We want to hook you up, everybody, and this is a free service Thank you so much, Debbie K, for putting out that testimonial. This is amazing. Right now, it's open enrollment time. Guys, the door's about to be closed, and open enrollment's going to be over, and you can't go in and do what you would normally do. But this is where, again, before it closes, in the next couple of days, next week it closes, call them up, 667-895-3015. Let them know that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. They have saved people thousands of dollars on their health insurance. They've even gotten people to get thousands of dollars in additional benefits. And just like Debbie K just said, she just saved $1,560. What a blessing. Show Debbie K some love in the chat. Guys, go get your blessing. If you're on Medicare right now, don't wait, because again, the closer it gets to the end, the more that the phones get tied up. But right now, they're available. 667-895-3015. The number is in the description. Such a blessing. Show Debbie K some love in the chat, everybody. And don't forget to show Sweet Kitten some love. Don't forget to show Richard and B1 Sly One some love in the chat. This is huge because there's so much fraud out there, so much waste. I just told you what they just dropped moments ago. And this is why there's so much Medicare fraud out there. And you shouldn't have to pay more than you have to for your health insurance. And Chapter can help you out, and it's free. They compare every single 5,600 plans out there. Yeah, it's that crazy to make sure you're taken care of. And again, thank you so much, Debbie K, for that testimonial. Show her some love in the chat. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's in the description as well as at the bottom of the screen. But I want y'all to listen to this, guys, because again, this is the stuff that as we bring this breaking news to you, we're showing you that we are 100% gonna make sure that you know exactly what's going on. One moment, I'm pulling this over because this just broke, everybody. Listen to this.
Did money from Minnesota taxpayers earmarked to feed hungry children wind up in the hands of a Somali terrorist group? The allegations center around a massive welfare fraud case being brought in Minnesota. A 78th defendant was charged just today. And now reports are coming out that some of the stolen money may have wound up in the hands of Al-Shabaab, a Somali-based terror group. In response, President Trump says he intends to end deportation protections for about 700 Somali nationals in Minnesota, calling Minnesota a, quote, hub for Somali gang networks, though he's provided no evidence for that. So what are the facts on the ground? Investigative correspondent Rich McHugh is at the federal courthouse in Minneapolis, Minnesota for us tonight. Rich, what are you learning?
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, we're at the federal courthouse where that 78th indictment came down just a few hours ago.
Wow.
All of it tied to Feeding Our Future. That's the corrupt nonprofit at the center of all of this fraud. We spoke with current and former federal sources, and they tell us billions have been stolen since 2019, that Minnesota is just riddled with fraud, and that a lot of this money goes back to Somalia, and a cut of all that money has gone to the Al-Qaeda-linked terror group Al-Shabaab. But I want to,
Do you hear this, y'all? This is Tim Walz, Kamala Harris's VP candidate. Now they're saying that on this 78th, guys, 78th indictment, it's not millions, it's billions. And a lot of this money has gone to terrorist group. I told you, everybody. Guys, if you appreciate this, hit the thumbs up like button. We are dropping the news today. This is the stuff, I'm telling you, everybody, that you don't hear. But we're showing you because it matters. We have got to stop this fraud, waste, and abuse that all the dang Democrats said wasn't happening and wouldn't do a dang thing about it. And now we're showing you, and Trump's actually doing something about it, along with Scott Bessent, the Doge team, Elon Musk, all of them. This is what we voted for.
Set this for viewers because it's complicated. This all stems from Feeding Our Future. That's the largest COVID fraud ever. These criminals opened more than 200 federal child nutrition program sites throughout Minnesota, and sites lied, claimed to be serving meals to thousands of children a day. They created fake attendance rosters, fake invoices, and the government reimbursed them. David Gaither, he's a former state senator here. He saw this firsthand.
Rich, this is the Sapphire restaurant in downtown Minneapolis. This is the epicenter of some of the biggest fraud and waste and abuse in this area. The owner right now is currently in jail, federal
wow.
jail. This restaurant, which seats about 35, supposedly served 18,000 plus meals a day.
A day?
A day for 7 months.
Wow.
18,000 plus.
Now, Minnesota Rep. Elon Omar, she was a fixture at this restaurant.
Oh, Elon Omar. She's in. Oh, do you see how they're all connected, guys? I don't give a crap. No foreign-born person that has citizenship in another country should be serving in our elected Congress. Let me know your thoughts in the chat, because I'm sick and tired of this, that when it comes to where we find some of the biggest fraud, waste, and abuse, it just so seems that these people are from another country where they got dual citizenship, and this is just killing me right now, because this has happened time and time again, and they always say what? Oh, you're just targeting us. Oh, you're just hitting minorities. No, we're hitting the fraud, waste, and abuse. They said they were feeding 18,000 meals a day. Come to find out is a huge fraud scheme. Feeding terrorists? Are you kidding me, guys? This is why the Biden autopen and reversing everything that's happened is so real. And even what you're about to hear next from Elon Musk himself is so powerful, everybody, because he's telling you exactly what's happening behind the scenes. Fana817, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Fana some love in the chat, as well as Camp Goer 1. Thank you so much, brother. OG of the channel. Said, from experience, when you call to report and you're in danger, you say, if you don't get someone here now, I have protection to take care of it myself. Watch them come fast. Whoa. Mike Hagstrom, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Mike, Camp Goer 1, and Fana some love in the chat. And listen to this, everybody, because I'm telling you, Elon Musk, richest guy in the world, has seen so much, wouldn't be saying this for nothing.
The federal government is not break even. It's literally losing $2 trillion a year. And it does not pass its audits. It fails its own audits. So, like, you know, there's a case where, like, I think Senator Collins was telling me about how she gave the Navy $12 billion for more submarines, got no extra submarines, and then held a hearing to say where'd the $12 billion go, and they were like, we don't know. That was it.
Guys, it is so insane. We just got some more breaking news that I'm pulling over right now. Just happened moments ago. Another Afghan alien has been arrested after stating he is building a bomb targeting the Fort Worth, Texas area. Mohammed Al-Khazai came in under Operation Allies Welcome, the same one that they brought the other guy in. Says we are under attack. Guys, this is the sleeper cells, guys. This is the stuff that Trump said was going to happen eventually because these people don't assimilate. They are 100% not going to fall into the American way. And then now we're finding all this stuff, and thank God that they're finding all of this. Whoops. Sorry. Wow. Almost fell. They're finding all of this, but this is, again, they just caught this person. And this is all breaking news, everybody. Afghan alien arrested after stating he is building a bomb targeting the Fort Worth, Texas area. This is heartbreaking. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So much is coming out today, guys. Again, I want to show you this because everybody's fed up with this. Everybody's fed up, and that's why Trump is saying, look, we're putting a halt on all immigration from third world countries. Let me know your thoughts on this. Check this out.
Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna joins us now. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for joining us. You know, it does seem like the Democrats' argument right now is that these National Guard troops kind of had it coming because Trump shouldn't have put them there in the first place.
Yeah, that's a pretty abhorrent perspective for them to have. You know, I think it would provide context, though, that they clearly don't know what they're talking about or even maybe understand what the purpose of the National Guard is. A lot of these people are either homegrown or lent from out of state to basically help secure Washington. I'll just give you a little example here, okay? First of all, the American people might not know this, but a majority of members of Congress, to include Democrats, are concealed carrying in Washington because of how bad it was up until President Trump took over, okay? This is the same party that's trying to take away your gun rights. Meanwhile, they were the ones that were fast-tracking their own concealed carry permits. Aside from that, I was in Washington when a Democrat member of Congress was mugged, basically had his even sushi stolen. Not just that, but it was one of the most dangerous crime-ridden cities in the world, basically, up until President Trump put the National Guard there. So for them to say or try to even justify the murder of this one beautiful woman, Sarah Beckstrom, who was an absolute patriot, is abhorrent. Frankly, I think that right now that this country can see exactly what they're doing, and the fact that you even had members of Senate come out even previous to this saying that basically members of the armed forces should commit sedition, that's completely unacceptable.
So, of course, so far, President Trump has taken a couple of steps, stopping all asylums from anywhere in the world and then halting immigration from third world countries. This is a smart first step, I guess?
I 100% back him, and I hope that Congress can codify something related. What I will, again, from this perspective, explain is that right now, under the current system that we have in place, there have been so many illegals that have come in unvetted, unchecked under the Biden administration that our system is bogged down. In fact, a majority of the cases that we take as congressional offices, constituent services, are immigration related. We have people wanting to come here legally, but they can't even get through the process because, again, so many people have come here the wrong way. And so I would actually say that we need to pause everything until the system can actually catch up. But yes, there's no reason why we need to be taking in people that A, don't want to assimilate, and B, I don't even know that they can contribute much to the current society that we have because they might not actually be skilled in whatever they are trying to come here for. And so I back him on that, but it's unfortunate what happened because had the proper vetting been done, I don't believe that this individual would have been able to come to this country.
Absolutely. Congresswoman, thank you so much.
Guys, again, this is how bad it's gotten. Because you have to think about the sentiment of the people that are looking at this and saying, well, who let these people in? This is literally what we're dealing with right now. The Trump administration has halted all decisions for asylum claims following the attack on the National Guardsmen by an Afghan national. This was happening. Coming in, they were just giving them papers and giving them a court date 5 to 7 years from the date that they entered into the United States. We found out that, I'm going to actually get the numbers because it's insane. I feel like it's 90% or more never show up for their court date. So you tell me, guys, what do? You can't just keep going as is because literally I just showed you they just caught somebody who was going to plant a bomb in Fort Worth, Texas. It's like these ideologies, and again, do I think immigration is good? Yes. Do I think everybody should immigrate here? No. Because if you live in a country and you've been brought up in your entire livelihood to think a certain way, and then you come to the United States and you don't assimilate or you don't essentially convert to the American way, you will start seeing us as such an enemy, just like these people have, and then start committing a horrible crime because we're so different. This is the thing. It's okay to be different, but it's not okay to commit crimes. That's what we're dealing with right now, and the Democrats continue to fuel this, and that's why what you're seeing now, this has been coming for a long, long, long time, and we're finally at the breaking point. Listen to this.
Joe Biden's legacy, it's officially in tatters. Today on Truth Social, President Trump made the following announcement, quote, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden, because the people who operated the autopen did so illegally. Here now with exclusive reaction is the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, James Comer. Chairman, thanks so much for joining us. The committee issued a fabulous report. You did the homework, you did the interviews, you came up with the conclusions. And now to see the president take action, was this anticipated? I didn't know Friday after Thanksgiving he was going to do this, but certainly glad to see it.
Well, we didn't know when he was going to do it, but we sure hoped he was going to do it. I mean, the evidence is clear. I think you deserve a lot of credit, Jason. Your oversight project, we're the first to discover the autopen was used that many times on that many legal documents. Then our committee began our investigative work. I want to brag on our oversight committee members and our staff for doing the depositions. We worked through the August recess and through the first half of the government shutdown to bring everybody in. And we gave everybody in the Biden administration an opportunity to explain what role Joe Biden played in the use of the autopen. And no one could give a definitive answer that Joe Biden had any role whatsoever in the use of that. It's not, Jason, it's not the use of the autopen that we had a problem with on the Oversight Committee. It's the unauthorized use of the autopen.
Wow.
There was no evidence that Joe Biden participated in any of the meetings where the pardons were discussed. We looked at his calendar. We looked at emails. We brought in people for hours and hours of depositions. There were no communications back and forth. So the legal peril here isn't the fact that the autopen was used excessively. It's the unauthorized use of the autopen by a president that was clearly in mental and physical decline, and his administration tried to shield that cognitive decline from the American people.
Right here, everybody. More breaking news just came out. Senator Marco Rubio immediately orders all diplomatic and consular posts to halt the processing of Afghan visas. This is huge. Again, coming from the top down, guys. We are seeing so much action come from this administration because the straw has broken the camel's back over what happened with that National Guardsman, especially 20 years old, sworn in just 24 hours before she was killed by that Afghan terrorist. It's done. They're done with it. It's like no more dying, no more killing. We're going to lock down because we do not know what's going on. We do not know the people that is out there, and we are losing precious American lives. If you voted for this, hit the thumbs up like button, guys. Thank you so much for your support. This is the stuff that we're bringing you all the breaking news, guys. This stuff hasn't even hit mainstream yet. Just happened. But this is what we voted for. This is accountability. This is us pushing to make sure that we do what is right for American first mindset.
Yeah, it is stunning. Set aside the signatures on public laws. If you look at the universe, 88% of the time during 4-year period, evidently the president, it appears, used an autopen. And you're right, it's those unauthorized, because publicly the president had said, President Biden, that it was for people that, on pardons and whatnot. This is for people who had committed nonviolent crimes. But there were several people who committed violent crimes, murders, in fact, that were actually released or had their death sentences diminished. That's what's so stunning. It was a total, complete different than what the president was saying publicly. And it begs the question, did he truly authorize it?
Boom.
Right. We never found any evidence other than the very last person we brought in, Jeff Zients, who I'm sure he communicated with everyone else that we brought in. He knew the questions we were asking. No one could say, yes, Joe Biden told me to sign this document with my name. Yes, I participated in a meeting with Joe Biden where we discussed this executive order or we discussed this person's pardon. No one, his inner circle, we brought in all of his inner circle, some of whom pled the Fifth Amendment, wouldn't even answer the question. But those who did, other than Jeff Zients, the very last person, no one could say it. Now, we didn't bring Jill Biden in. Many believe she was the one that was making a lot of decisions. It doesn't matter. What matters, Jason, is that Joe Biden wasn't a part of the process. And the Constitution is clear. No one has the authority to issue a pardon other than the President of the United States. The Vice President doesn't have that authority. The Chief of Staff does not have the authority. And the First Lady does not have the authority. So I applaud what President Trump did today. I think this will end up in court. And I think our investigative work, the report that the House Oversight Committee published, will serve as the basis of evidence that will help us win this in court and help President Trump to sustain this executive order.
Chairman, you're exactly right. I thought the Oversight Committee under your leadership was absolutely fabulous, doing the right interviews. I read through those interviews. And you know what? I'm proud of Donald Trump, the president, for doing the right thing. If you used an auto pen to try to, go get an auto loan or get a mortgage or something like that, they would never accept it. And so you're going to commute somebody's sentence that clearly is only for the president? Yeah, there's no way it could possibly work. Chair.
Let me tell you this. We got big dogs that are making stuff happen, and I'm telling you, with the auto pen, all this is about to be investigated, everybody. Remember, the Democrats said FEMA had no money for Americans in Maui, no money for Americans in East Palestine, no money for Americans in West North Carolina, but FEMA had an extra $1 billion to spend on migrants that were coming into the United States right here. This stuff is like, we are literally seeing the first signs, guys, of everything that happened, how it was orchestrated, how much they tried to import voters, and we're finally seeing that we're going to do something about it. And this is what we voted for President Trump to do. Google user, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, yes, B1 Sly 1147. Let's make Christmas great for some kids. If those of us who can give a little do give, we do give big things. Let's go. I love it. Show Google user some love in the chat. I'm telling you, everybody, like the stuff that we're seeing, I'm just so blown out of my mind that this is becoming a reality for America right now. But what I do love is, again, Trump has got a lot of support and he's got a lot of the right people. Listen to this.
So can we just go to the data, CNN's own data from our own data analyst Harriet? President Trump has an 87% approval rating among Republicans, which is higher than Barack Obama's approval rating among Democrats at this point in his term, higher than where George W. Bush was in his term. He is the strongest, for his own party, strongest president at this point in his second term in the modern era. That's number one. Number two, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think, had a falling out with the president over politics. He showed her a poll that said she couldn't win statewide in Georgia. That's exactly she got mad. She got mad. And by the way, she stands with a group of isolationists who just happen to disagree with the president over, say, taking away Iran's nuclear weapons and some other issues. That's fine. He's the president. She's not. And if you want to talk about whether the president has a hold on his party or whether he's a lame duck, I'll just submit that when he withdrew his endorsement of Greene, she lasted a week and then had to resign from Congress. That's not weakness. That is strength.
I'm telling you, everybody, the support is there. Again, what Trump is doing in terms of having the right people in place, this is what I love, because we are seeing this second turnaround is so much more powerful than the first time around. So the people behind Trump are so much better. Pence ain't got nothing on J.D. Vance. B1 Sly One, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Said thank you, Google user. I love it. Faina 817, welcome to the family. Show them some love in the chat, as well as Sweet Kitten Richard. Thank y'all so much for your support. Just think about what is happening, what you're about to see next, because this is so much heartbreak, but it's only because of the Biden administration and the auto pen.
It's going to be really good, but cover your dog's ears. Here with us is Border Czar Tom Zoman. Tom, great to see you. House Oversight Dems are defending this ICE tracker that we mentioned earlier, writing that it's not a live tracking system, it doesn't monitor officer movements or reveal private info or put any individual at risk. It just compiles possible misconduct and abuses. So is that okay?
No, the bottom line is, if you support illegal immigration, then you support the criminal cartels of Mexico. Because no one crosses the border illegally without paying a plaza fee to the criminal cartels. And I'm going to remind everybody, and I'm going to keep reminding these Democrats, where were you the last 4 years? Well, we had over 10 million people come to our border. We had 250,000 Americans die from fentanyl coming across the open border. We had a record number of people from terrorist-sponsored countries coming across the border. Sex trafficking women and children were at a historic high. You let 500,000 children be smuggled in the United States. You lost track of 300,000. You weren't even looking for them. It's the Trump administration and President Trump's leadership where we've already found over 30,000 of them. We're not going to let them forget. You are complicit in the biggest national security failure, the biggest humanitarian failure in the history of this nation. So you can scream and yell and do all these apps you want, but we're not going to let you forget. You are complicit. You support illegal immigration, then you support criminal cartels in Mexico. And when they smuggle people, they smuggle guns, they smuggle dope. So that's who you're supporting. Illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. And if they don't know that, they're just simply ignorant.
Wow.
Yeah, the New York Times did that big piece. They were trying to be sympathetic with the illegal who, basically took someone's identity. But it turns out that the American whose identity was stolen by the illegal, his life has been turned upside down. So there are all different ways that illegal immigration, even if you're not out there, selling drugs on the street as an illegal or you're robbing someone at gunpoint, there are other ways that your presence in the United States is making it more difficult for the average working man and woman, especially victims of identity theft.
I want to show you this again, too, because this matters. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent moves to cut off illegal migrants from tax benefits, cross-border money transfers. No place for you in our financial system. This was all so coordinated, guys. Oh, my goodness. That the Democrats bring them over. They use NGOs to sign them up for all the taxpayer benefits, and then they want to act like they didn't do anything wrong. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Digging in with Dawn, thank you so much. Said, go Trump, fire Bondi is happening. Show Digging in with Dawn some love in the chat, everybody. But this right here, when we looked at the numbers, almost $200 billion given of your hard-earned tax money to bring people in, to keep feeding them in the sense of benefits, benefits, benefits. We just heard that the guy who shot the National Guard's woman and man was getting $2,000 a month in housing assistance to pay for his house. I'm telling you guys, everybody's had enough.
And Tom, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, never one to make a logical argument, said this.
This is an important press conference that is being held to let you know what we're all doing, resisting this low-down, dirty, no-good, filthy president of the United States of America.
Well, this is all, again, pejorative, but Tom, they are trying to affect public opinion here by giving people the impression that it's really not about illegal aliens with deportation orders or criminals. People are just being rounded up and people are like, someone kidnapped my daughter from ICE. You see these headlines. So they have moved public opinion a little bit against the administration on this. It's not as popular as it was before. So is there a messaging issue that needs to be improved on the part of the administration?
Well, obviously there is, but, in all fairness, the vast majority of media don't want to tell the truth. The bottom line is, you and I have talked many times, according to the data, between 60 and 70% of everybody ICE arrests is a criminal, public safety threat. Now, I looked at the numbers this morning. We got just under 650,000 total deportations since President Trump's been in the White House. Now, if you let's just take 60% of that, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of criminals. That makes this country safer. We got to get that. We got to get the data out there more frequently. We got to talk about actually who's being arrested and share the American people the facts versus fiction. For instance, ICE has never been in elementary school. ICE don't attack churches, but ICE don't go into hospitals. But I read those stories every day. The vast majority of media just don't want to tell the truth. They want to vilify Trump. And it's hatred for Trump more than it's the truth. TDS. And I've said this many times. These Democrat governors and mayors who constantly want to attack President Trump, they hate Trump more than they care about the safety and security of their communities because the data proves we're removing the worst of the worst out of this country every single day across this nation.
No doubt. There have been a lot of really bad people removed and continue to be removed. But Tom, at the same time, MAGA is not thrilled that it's only 600,000. So you have the left saying we shouldn't arrest anybody. Then you have MAGA saying they got millions of people here. It would have meant you had to deport like 50,000 a week from the beginning of the administration. And even if you keep going at the pace you're going at, that's a dent in the illegal alien population. People would deport, who are deportable aliens right now. So what do you say to those people who say this is great, but it's nowhere near enough?
Then come put a badge and gun on and give us a hand. ICE is hiring record numbers. Bottom line is, I just said just about 650,000 deportations. That is several 100,000 more than the record that was back in 2012. So it was already a historic operation. Second of all, you got to consider the people who have left the country out of fear of being deported. Was over 1.6 million of them. So there's well over 2.2 million left the country already. And that's been a part of the plan from the beginning. We knew if we send over 1,000 ICE teams out there across the country, we send a message to the whole world. You enter this country illegally, we're looking for you. And by sending that message, by having anything, ICE is one of the reasons we have the most secure border in the history of the nation right now, because people aren't coming because they know there's consequences. So between the record number of deportations, the record number of self-deports, we're already had an historic deportation operation. But hold on tight, we're hiring 10,000 more. That's going to be on duty by mid-January.
Wow.
That's tripling the size of enforcement removal operations. So if you think the numbers are historic now, wait till next year.
Let's go. And everybody, this is so powerful. Again, when you get the right team in place, people's lives start being saved. I love this, everybody. I hope you do. National murder rate is the lowest in modern history. Like, this is what we voted for. If you voted for this, hit the thumbs up like button. Guys, if you're watching, you're not a part of the family yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, joining our family. And don't forget, everybody, right now, this is big. It's open enrollment time for Medicare. We are so close to the doors being closed where Medicare it's not going to be open enrollment anymore. And we literally had a member on this channel, Debbie K, who says she called Chapter yesterday and saved $1,560 a year. What a blessing, guys. And this is free for y'all. When you call up, it is a free service. They compare all 5,600 plans and make sure you get the right one. The number is 667-895-3015. The number's in the description as well at the bottom of the screen. I promise you'll be blessed. We've literally got members that are saving thousands of dollars, and I'm so thankful for this because that's your hard-earned money. You don't need to pay more than you should. Get what you need, and this is where we partnered with Chapter because we knew they would bring value to you and you'd be blessed. So if you're on Medicare, you're about to be, call them up before the door closes, before open enrollment ends, 667-895-3015. I promise you'll be blessed. And I want to give some special love to those that have given today. Guys, what a blessing. B1 Sly One, OG of the channel, moderator of the channel. Give him some love in the chat. Thank you so much, brother, for your kindness and support. Our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Show Jim some love. Surgical Wizard. Lay Lewis with the gifted 5 TrueLife News memberships. Show Lay some love if you got a free membership. Terry Easter, thank you so much. Andy, thank you so much, brother. Milton Burns, Truth Warrior, thank you so much, Truth Warrior. Marilyn Kaplan, Hapa Te Uraha from New Zealand. Debbie K, thank you so much. Fenen 817, Camp Goer 1, OG of the channel. Mike Hagstrom, thank you so much. Google user, thank you so much. Digna with Dawn, Glow 2010 said, praise the Lord that we have President Trump. Amen. And our OG now, Sweet Kitten. Show Sweet Kitten some love in the chat. Such a blessing, guys, to be here serving you. Thank you for sharing our videos on X, on Facebook. We love you all, appreciate you, and we're here to serve you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.